The average PlayStation fanboy knows nothing about Xbox's business. The biggest shock that many of them have actually realized is the fact that they find themselves making contradictory arguments and categorizations about Xbox at any given time. They also want to prove this broken clock is right twice a day theory by continuing to say the same nonsense and hoping it will come true. Once in a while, the mask slips off and they expose themselves that these guys are not willing to actually investigate the reality, but would be willing to be right at any point in time by any means necessary. I was on the Twitters, and this is you know what? I gotta tell you, man, this thing is getting out of hand. But you know what? It's important that we point it out. I told you that now these cats, they now need to be examined on, regarding what they say. Clute, you went ahead and you put this particular, clip from Doc Dark's video. As I was scrolling down, which I will address later, Doc is over there laughing. Maybe you guys want to hear Doc laugh at you. I want to hear Doc laugh. I thought that was funny.
All you people that have inside sources, now grab your little inside sources, okay? Shine them up real nice. You turn that source sideways, and you make them focus on PlayStation.
Y'all are gonna get dragged to this one, but you know what? That's a different conversation. So this person put this thing and said, and it's Tom Warren, pretty much going after MBG and said Judson Althoff is the CEO of commercial at Microsoft, which has nothing to do with the Xbox division led by Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer. If you're gonna make stuff up, at least make it believable. Well, this is in regard to MBG going ahead to also add on top of that rumor that Judson Althoff, that's his name, I keep calling him Justin, is now the one making the uncomfortable calls for Xbox and is the person responsible for pulling the plug on the Xbox console. MBG has since deleted the tweet. I hope he's going to put retractions in place. Another thing I saw was another content creator. In this particular case, I was watching GameSta's video, and he was doing a response to that particular video from that content creator. It was Puderok. And he was reading about this Judson Althoff. I didn't stay to watch long enough to even, hear what he had to say. So maybe he was just following the news, and that's all I saw. But I have to tell you, the surprise that is actually out here for a lot of these so-called PlayStation talking heads or even those who are aficionados is that you guys are not willing to learn. And so what's going to happen is you can delete as many tweets as you want. It's okay. The problem is people are taking screenshots of everything you say. Now, I told y'all, the beginning of this year, the microscope is on everything you say. You all want Xbox to die as a business so that all the years of fomenting and fear-mongering and doom-scrolling of Xbox may come true. The problem is the company is actually here to outspend PlayStation out of business and make them relevant. So you're fighting an uphill battle. I wish you good luck. Perhaps you might be able to convince Xbox to walk away from billions of dollars. Let's see how that works. Another user was here on Twitter talking nonsense at me, saying that in some sense, when you actually go ahead and think about it, that the only success that Xbox had this generation is how well their games sell on PlayStation 5. Look at the tweets right here. They even made a picture of it. In fact, I told them that they cannot compare Xbox's worst day in 2025 with anything PlayStation has actually done. And they said Xbox hardware, Game Pass, the Asus Xbox, which has not launched, Halo, Forza, Starfield, all got gassed and flopped, which is actually a pathetic lie. Selling 30 million units of anything, I don't understand how anybody can claim that that's actually bad. It's only in PlayStation fanboy head that happens. So I told them that GT didn't make close to the amount of money that Forza made. I told him that Starfield was one of the top grossing games on Steam. I data dumped him. He didn't expect it, right? Then I pointed out to him that Forza, having outsold all the other racing games, then went on PlayStation and outsold Astrobot, according to reports, and also Game Pass, basically out-earned in terms of revenue PlayStation Plus. These cats don't know jack squat. MBG, Puderok, Nib, and all of you. what are you guys actually feeding these audience members? Are they aware? Are they in tune with the news going on in the gaming industry? Are you serving them? I hope your answer is yes, and they're just going rogue on you, and everything you've told them, which you would probably say is the truth, is what they're basically ignoring, because this can't be from y'all. I hate to even dare think that this came from y'all. I'm not even going that far to think so, because a lot of these folk are so misinformed. They don't even know up from down and their right hand from their left hand. I think many of them are a bunch of 18-year-olds, impressionable and still forming their ideas around some of these more important matters. Some of them are maybe in their early or mid-20s. And y'all telling them this stuff is pretty much putting them in a really weird position where now they all have to go back and start deleting tweets. The flip? Why would you have to delete a tweet? You had an opportunity to say, this was wrong news and I followed this rumor. Man, maybe I should vet sources later or probably wait till we get confirmation about what's going on. But y'all can't wait long enough to make news be confirmed. You have to anti-Xbox your day to feel better. This level of disdain for this company is exactly what this company is going to rise on. And the crazy thing is, this so-called PlayStation fanboys, you're everywhere. I enjoy, pretty much pointing out that you guys are unaware of exactly what it is that you're even worrying or talking about. You're always in some kind of a weird, conundrum or situation every single time, right? Every single time. You're always making, some weird categorization and always looking like like everything is in front of you and you pretty much hide and bury your heads in the sand. Tell me again, why would Xbox forfeit billions of dollars that hardware helps it generate? Why? Because you said so on a YouTube channel? Is that why? I don't understand how y'all can ever think about that. Even if, in fact, it's more likely that I believe that every single PlayStation pundit quits the entire conversation entirely before Microsoft will drop billions of dollars in revenue and potential revenue. That's the likelihood, because this is the company that is actually trying to push $5 trillion in valuation, maybe, and at some point want to make sure that nothing is standing in their way, be you Nintendo or who. Everybody that they tried to buy them mocked them, right? Everybody that they bought, like Activision when Bobby Kotick was mocking them. They're here to basically rub it into their faces. Like you guys don't understand. This is Phil Spencer's legacy. He's about to be done here with his own, legacy in Xbox. And he said it before. I want to set Xbox up for the next 20 years, targeting the 3 billion gamers that are here across the world. If that is too big of a goal for you, he's going to set it in motion. And when he sets it in motion, of which now he's basically got, how many of it? 500 million, MAUs. So he's basically 2.5 billion left to go. If Bro can capture another 1 billion before he walks out of here, or even another 500 million, you already know it's over, because that's a goal that Microsoft has set their sights on, and they're coming to get it, and they will walk over PlayStation, Nintendo, and anybody else. That's why Steam backed. Did you see the way Steam dodged when they said, Steam's going to basically make Steam OS to compete with Windows? And Steam was like, man, y'all shut up. We are literally doing our little thing over here. Do not put us in the same sentence with Microsoft, because, Gabe knows. He worked at Microsoft, so he understands that this is the one company that you do not want to be in the same competitive space with, because if you're sitting there with them, this is what I've been warning y'all about, that you would hate the world where Microsoft is pretty much controlling majority of the economies of scale. And in the console market right now, they really have it held down. On PC, we can do all kinds of stuff. We can make fake GTA games and fake Call of Duty games and bang it out on Unreal and Unity and fire it up on Steam or fire it up on some whatever, and we just start playing and doing. On console, you don't have that. You really don't have those options. So at the end of the day, you really need a very healthy market and a competition of, amongst the three, right? And not this whole fanboying that you're doing everywhere, talking, nonsense about Xbox and lying on the ecosystem to yourselves. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Peace out.